Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a totally fascinating Eastern philosophical framework that basically flips our everyday understanding of time completely upside down. I mean, most of us just go through life glancing at our watches, stressing that there isn't enough time in the day, or just watching the calendar pages turn, right? But what if everything we've been taught about time is fundamentally backward? According to the incredible source material we're looking at today, time isn't just some ticking clock fading into the background of our lives. It's actually the core engine of the entire universe. So get ready, because we're about to explore a completely different way to look at reality. Part 1. The Unconquered Dimension. To really wrap our heads around this perspective, we first have to look at the one thing humanity hasn't figured out yet. Think about the stark contrast between our mastery of space and our absolute helplessness against time. As our source points out, historically, a trip across a country, like walking from Ulsan to Seoul in South Korea, would take an entire month. Today, boom, it takes a mere 2 hours on a high-speed train. Through science and tech, we've essentially hacked the limitations of space. But time, we haven't conquered it at all. We can't pause, rewind, or fast-forward even a single fleeting second. We are entirely at its mercy.
And honestly, because we can't control it, we've historically viewed time through a lens of profound dread. If you look at ancient philosophies, or even just our everyday anxieties, time feels like the ultimate enemy. It's the bringer of aging, of sickness, and ultimately death. Plus, in a lot of traditions, it's tied to these inescapable cycles of karma and past lives. We constantly associate the passage of time with loss, viewing it as this unstoppable force that just wears us down. Because of that, our relationship with time is fundamentally rooted in fear. We literally see it as a cage.
Section 2. The Secret of the Ox. Now, ancient sages and spiritual masters actually didn't see time as a cage, but they did hide this truth. For instance, if you've ever studied Zen Buddhism or ancient Eastern art, you might know the famous 10 ox herding pictures. They basically show a young herder searching for, taming, and eventually riding this majestic white ox. For centuries, scholars have debated what this means. People figured it meant finding your inner mind, or achieving moral purity, or reaching some abstract mystical state. But what if it's way more practical than that? What does this central animal actually symbolize in the grand framework of the universe? Well, here's the crucial myth-busting moment. According to the philosophy outlined in our source, the ox isn't a literal animal, and it's definitely not some vague metaphor for human morality. It's actually a highly specific mathematical symbol for time itself. In traditional Eastern calendar systems, the symbol of the ox, also known as chuk, specifically represents the 12 earthly branches and the 12 months that make up a full year cycle. The sages were literally using the ox as a symbol to talk about time right out in the open. But generations of seekers totally misunderstood. They spent their whole lives looking for a mystical animal or an invisible energy, completely missing that the ultimate secret of the universe was simply mastering time.
Section 3. Time is the Dao. This brings us to the absolute core revelation of the text, and it's a real game changer. For thousands of years, spiritual seekers have dedicated their entire lives to finding the Dao, or the way. They isolate themselves in the mountains, pore over obscure texts, and hunt for a mystical place or some magical hidden energy. But the text we're analyzing today argues something incredibly direct. The Tao is literally just time. It's not a secret dimension hidden up in the clouds. It is the very ticking of the seconds, the shift from day to night, the changing of the seasons. The universe's ultimate truth has literally been hiding in plain sight.
So let's see how this builds into the ultimate goal. In this framework, there's a concept called mujik. Now, mujik translates to the absolute, limitless state of the cosmos. Our source explains that to reach this ultimate spiritual state, to truly understand the universe, you have to elevate your consciousness to completely transcend the boundaries of space and time. You can't just exist inside time, getting pushed around by it. You actually have to step outside of it to comprehend the mechanics of the universe from a higher, totally boundless vantage point.
Section 4. The Mechanics of the Universe.
But to transcend time, you first have to understand exactly how it operates. It isn't just random, it's a highly structured machine. The source uses a concept called Sengjong Yumjong. This translates directly to birth, growth, harvest, and rest, or storage, and it maps flawlessly onto the 4 seasons we all know. Spring gives birth to new life, summer oversees its rapid growth, autumn is the time of harvest, to reap what was sown, and winter is the period of rest and preservation before the whole cycle kicks off again. Time is this exact, unbreakable cyclical engine. It governs the life cycle of a single plant, the rise and fall of entire empires, and literally the evolution of the cosmos itself. Let's break down the specific traits of this cosmic machine according to the text. First off, time is never boring or stagnant.
It demands constant change, which creates the rich tapestry of our reality. Second, it's fully automatic. It operates on a principle called sang-sang-sang-guk, which is this intricate system of mutual generation and mutual overcoming that runs 24/7 without anyone needing to push a button. Third, it is perfectly impartial. Time doesn't play favorites, you guys. An hour for a king is the exact same hour for a peasant. And finally, it's the ultimate multiplier. Whatever you plant in the spring of time, it will multiply and return to you in the autumn.
Section 5. Wielding the power.
Okay, so if time is this perfectly impartial multiplying machine, how do we actually use it? Well, the secret is a concept called Sudu Yongmi, which translates to snake's head, dragon's tail. Because time acts as a multiplier, it takes something really small, say a tiny seed, a simple habit, a small bit of effort, which is the snake's head, and over the cycles of growth and harvest, it amplifies it into something absolutely massive and powerful, the dragon's tail. If you understand the timing of the universe, you don't need to exhaust yourself using brute force. You just need to plant the right seed at the exact right moment and let the automatic machinery of time do the heavy lifting for you.
This whole realization culminates in a state known as Doutong. In this philosophical framework, Doutong is the absolute highest spiritual achievement. And no, we're not talking about learning how to fly or shoot fireballs here. It is the profound, crystal-clear ability to understand, anticipate, and wield the power of time. It means your actions are perfectly synchronized with the universe's schedule. You act in the spring, you grow in the summer, and you harvest in the autumn. You're no longer fighting against the current of time. You're actually riding it, utilizing its incredible, impartial power to create massive outcomes.
So we've journeyed through a philosophy that totally reimagines reality today. We started by looking at how humans fear time just because we can't control it. We saw how ancient sages used the ox to symbolize time's hidden presence, and learned that the legendary Dao is literally simply time itself. We explored the cosmic four-season engine of the universe, and saw how time acts as an impartial multiplier, turning a snake's head into a dragon's tail. Which leaves us with this final, crucial thought for you to take away. Look at your own life right now. Are you still running in fear of time, viewing it as something that simply ages you? Or are you ready to align with it, plant your seeds, and truly master it? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to dive into our next topic with you.